2014 Easton JOAD Nationals. Glad you're joining us here. It has been a tough day. We had weather. We've had, now with the changing of the schedules, we've had to move several targets all at once.
We do have, I believe it's a quarter mile of targets out here with 909 archers shooting this weekend, 600 here at the Easton JOAD Nationals, and it's definitely, a lot of work to keep everyone on schedule, especially with, things that are out of our control.
Well, and out of control being the weather, which we did have a delay for earlier today, and we're anticipating. And the other thing is anticipating weather tomorrow. So that has really made us change the schedule. We want to thank you for bearing with us, folks that are watching. We want to bring you the best coverage we can, and we certainly appreciate all the efforts of USA Archery, particularly Teresa Johnson, for really working at getting us, coverage here. I mean, this isn't easy to try to accommodate for this. We could only cover these 4 lanes. Again, I'm Ted Rutan, joined by Sarah Bernstein, and on the other end, covering on our other channel, the Recurve, Chris Allen and Butch Johnson. And it's just we enjoy bringing you the coverage. We wish it could be a little more timely, but that's kind of the
that tends to happen in archery when there's just other things going on. But we're here right now in the Compound Cub women's.
I believe they're on their second.
They're finishing up practice, just about to start the Compound Cub women's 1/16th, and we're looking at Taylor Fox and Kylie Martin shooting right now.
So
Both girls have gotten most of their arrows in the gold so far, so it's definitely looking like it's going to be a promising, exciting match.
And of course, they are Cubs, so they will be at a distance of 30 meters.
Yes, and
Cubs being 14 and under. 14, as long as they turn 14 this calendar year.
Yeah. And Kylie Martin seeded 18th yesterday, and Taylor Fox was 15th. So they are definitely pretty evenly matched going into this. Kylie Martin is actually from Ohio. She's a local out here, as we are in Joyce Park in Hamilton, and see if that gives her any advantage, because she's probably used to this weather, which has been quite variable today. We've seen sun and clouds and wind and rain. And
Sarah, we had a good question earlier while we were waiting to get back to action. What got you started in archery, and how old were you?
Yeah, so I started archery when I was about 7 years old. I did it at a summer camp where I'm from in New Jersey, and I completely fell in love with it. My mom was really adamant that my siblings and I, play sports growing up, just so we had that, background, that experience. And I was kind of really horrible at everything, but archery just clicked for me. And so we, were able to go online and find a coach, and I got really lucky. I had a great coach near me who, she normally didn't start training people until they were 8, but I was just so passionate that she started, helping me out then. And I made it to my first nationals when I was 8 years old. And
8 years old, wow. Where was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, that was out in Colorado. So that was quite a trip. I remember taking the trip with my dad and, staying out in a hotel together, and we had so much fun. And, I just kind of went in with no expectations and had a top 10 finish, which was really cool and exciting, and definitely helped me find my love of the sport, and I've stuck with it all the way through college so far. And I think I've talked to a lot of people that have started either in 4-H programs or summer camps. It's a good introduction for a lot of people. A lot of archers have, older family members who shoot, and that's how they'll get into it. And, out here we have the JOAD program, which is Junior Olympic Archery Development, and that's very good opportunity. There's a lot of incentives with stars and pins you can earn for shooting higher and better scores, and it's a really good way to get started in archery, especially here. And gives you a lot of exposure and experience, and it's a good program.
Now let me ask you this. For someone who, let's say their child might want to take an interest in this, it's also something an adult could pick up, is it not?
Absolutely. You
And
can
something you
start
can do
archery
together.
at any age. My coach that I work with now has coached 4-year-olds, and he's coached 84-year-olds. And, anyone of any ability can do it too, which is really great. So there's no reason anyone should not try archery, I think. And, if you're interested in getting started, you can go online at usarchery.org or on Archery 360, which is another great resource. And they'll both have search databases where you can just put in your zip code and they'll help you find the closest local pro shop or, range where you can find a coach or talk to someone, get some more information, maybe try out some equipment before you, purchase anything or really get into it, and you can find out if it's for you and give it a try. So I believe we're about to clear the field. Are we clearing the field now? Yeah, for the
It looks
start
like
of this
we are
match.
getting that way. Finally, we'll be back to some action.
Can't wait. These archers, you see them standing here, and they look pretty tired. It's been a long day of waiting, and they still have to keep up their spirits and energy for these shots.
And they were also told yesterday that they were anticipating the weather and trying to be a weatherman in the Midwest in the summer. July and August is tough because the weather will change here in the Cincinnati area and south central Indiana, where I'm from, quickly. But in doing so, they were told that they were going to be competing at 1 o'clock today, starting there. And so look at
Here, it's after 6 p.m. and these girls are just on their first match right now. So 5 hours later, they've been waiting around, and you have to be in the mindset to compete. You're thinking about your form and your technique, and
when you eat, when you warm up.
Staying hydrated. It's been hot out here. There's definitely a lot going on with the waiting, and that's mentally and physically taxing. So it's impressive that these young archers are still going out here.
So now the Easton JOAD Nationals are ready to finally get back underway. Glad you're still with us. We have on the lanes 1 and 2, we have in lane 1, Kylie Martin.
I believe in lane 1 we have Taylor Fox, and lane 2 is Kylie
I
Martin.
apologize. You are exactly right.
All right. Got a 10-9 liner for Taylor and a 9 for Kylie. Also what appears to be a 9 for Taylor and a solid 10 for Kylie. 10 for Taylor, and the final shot is a 9-8 liner, but it looks like it's a pretty clear 9 for Kylie. So this will be a close set. Compound shooting, we have the cumulative score. They shoot 5 ends of 3 arrows for a perfect total score of 150 possible points. So there's still 12 arrows to go. This is anyone's game, and we'll get the official score as soon as they go down and verify all the arrows.
Off to a good start are Taylor Fox and Kylie Martin here in the 1/16th round.
Speaking of people getting started in archery, a lot of people really fell in love with the Hunger Games and the Katniss character and got started off of that. And we do see Kylie Martin sporting a nice braid, which is always that great Katniss symbol. So, who knows, maybe that got her interested or kept her interested in archery. Definitely Katniss and Merida and Brave were really great female role models who were, strong archers. So it did a lot for the sport and its popularity.
This morning on our way here at a very early time of day, it was still dark out, we happened to come over, and when we turned on the radio, the first word in the first 3 words I heard was archery. It was a promotion for a gentleman in the greater Cincinnati area that was opening up a shooting range, and he was combining it with pistols and rifles, but he also has an area for archery.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, clubs are seeing a lot of growth right now, archery clubs, and there are new shops popping up everywhere. I mean, I'm living in New York right now, which you would not really think of as like an archery mecca, because where do you shoot in New York? You can't go to Central Park, but there actually have been ranges popping up a lot recently, and that's awesome to see the sport developing so much.
Well, now Kylie Martin and Taylor Fox going over their scores. They're going back to the handhelds now.
Which means that the scores for all matches going on right now are available live on ianseo.net, which is IANSEO.net, and you can check out what else is going on over there.
And while we have a moment here, I'd like to mention that champion archers choose Axel Sights and Scopes. The 2014 Achieve Carbon sight for tournaments enables your best shooting. Light, super strong carbon fiber provides vibration absorption, minimal wind deflection, and a high strength to weight ratio. Available on recurve and compound models. AxelSights.com. That's AXCELSITES.com. Enable your best with Axel Sights and Scopes.
I also use one and personally really enjoy that they come in many colors, including pink.
Testimonial.
And work fantastically, of course.
Looks like they're finally getting to their scores. Do we have a 29?
I believe we have a 29 for Taylor Fox and Kylie Martin with 28.
Really nice start here for Taylor and Kylie.
You know, with only a 1 point discrepancy, like, that really doesn't dictate much. But, you know, it's always nice to get up on the line and know that you do have that slight advantage. So Taylor might have that slight advantage mentally.
When they also each had one that was perhaps on the line, and they both got the better of those. I mean, the 9 instead of the 8, or the 10 instead of the 9.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always nice to get the close one to go.
It's good when you catch those lines.
Yeah. So we are waiting for our second end. Glad you've been patient with us. Again, we really like bringing you this coverage. It's certainly been a challenge out here today. Sarah, you've been here with us all day. What a trooper you've been. We certainly appreciate your input.
Glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
And it is a challenge trying to do this, because I mean, look at all the competitors that are here and that were here earlier today. The weather comes, and it wasn't just, oh, it's raining. No, it was lightning, it was thundering, and it was serious rain coming down. There's a lot of equipment that has to be taken care of. On our side of things, we have a lot of electrical equipment we had to take care of quickly, in the fear that it might get blown away, damaged. Not just wet, but damage with the lightning and everything. So I think everyone did a nice job here.
I would absolutely agree that, like, definitely the staff here is very well, prepped, and they, know what to do when the weather happens. And I think everything was handled as smoothly as possible and got off without a hitch. Of course, the weather is out of our control, but everything is going well.
Again, we are waiting on our final competitors to get back with their scores.
I'm looking down the line back here, and there are a lot of archers, already ready with their bows. But you see a lot of smiles. It's exciting to be out here and to have this opportunity. This is new for a lot of people to be on a competition stage this large. As we spoke to Samuel White earlier, he said he had never seen. Oh, sorry, Tyler Bogart, who shot against Samuel White. He was saying that there were, he's never seen this many targets before in his life in one place, and it's definitely a big culture shock. It's really awesome to know that there are this many people, out there doing what you do and dedicating as much time as you do to the sport that we all love. So,
well, I think what's even more intimidating, you had me check it out yesterday. It's not just looking at the targets, but turning around and getting close to, but looking down the line as everyone is preparing to shoot. And when you see that many people and all that equipment, that is a little,
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I've been out here, as an archer, but also as a photographer a few times, and that is one of my favorite shots, is when you get it where you're right on the edge of the shooting line and you see everyone lift up their bows at once, and it's just a mass of, the bows and the stabilizers and the people, and it's actually just awesome and awe-inspiring to see all of that. So here we are starting our second set. Both archers draw the bow to shoot, and we'll see what happens.
And watching just what you spoke about now, and then hearing the resulting striking of the arrows to the targets.
Yeah. Taylor opens with a 9 just out of 10, followed by another 9. And Kylie had a rough arrow. She has a 5 in there, but at least she got some points for it, and a 10. So she's going to have to work to come back from that. And a 9, so 2 solid shots. Taylor has 3 9s, so she'll pick up a little, she'll increase her lead here a tiny bit.
Should have maybe a lead of 4 after this round.
Yeah, three or 4, I think. You complimented my math skills earlier. Now, it's summer vacation. None of us are in school here right now. We're not supposed to be thinking like that. That was always a defining thing for me growing up. Part of the summers, because school's not in session anymore, so you have so much more time you can dedicate to archery, and some really became about your archery friends and going to all the competitions that are available on the national level for, JOAD and especially the seniors, and you get to see your archery friends, and it's if you don't go to sleepaway camp, this is another way that you have your friends that last for a lifetime, and it's really nice.
And that's one of the things about individual sports that I've seen, and team sports as well, but in some of the individual sports that I've covered, you see as time goes on, the competitors that you first compete with over time they're still competitors, but they're also your buds.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, they're your friends. You share your experiences, your travels with them.
Absolutely. Some of the people out here are my best friends in the whole world, and I love that, you don't want to, when you're in these head-to-head matches, you don't want to beat someone who's not doing their best. So you can be up there and, you're competing against someone, and obviously you want to win, but, you can be right there cheering them on because, you want them to do their best, and then you still can be friends. And I love how amicable this sport really can be and is. So that's definitely something I think is, if it's not unique to archery, it's definitely one of the most special qualities about archery.
And again, one of the reasons that athletic competition is a great thing for youngsters. You learn the dedication it takes. You're not going to come out here and win if you're not working at it.
Absolutely.
And even when you come out here and you work your hardest, there's a pretty good chance that somebody out here might be a little better. And it's just a,
You know, simply, like I was talking to our new national champion, Katuna Lorig, for the women's recurve, and she was saying yesterday, like, you have to believe in yourself in archery, and if you don't believe in yourself, your shots are not going to be good, and that's really, central to achieving out here, is just having that mindset and believing in yourself on every shot.
So let's check out the scores now.
Taylor Fox updated to a 56.
So 27. Let's see Kylie there.
52 for Kylie, so
A difference
you
of
were
4.
correct. 4-point lead. Nice call, 10.
I probably had to pay off somebody over here with a calculator to help me out. We have good producers, directors all around that'll help me out when I can't add 2 and 2. Special thank you to Coach's Aid CEO Brad Finn. Want to thank him for coming out and supporting all of our group here in the greater Cincinnati area. Brad, of course, a native Buckeye.
That's also a dessert out here, right?
The Buckeye.
The Buckeye?
Have you tried those?
I tried one.
I've made them. I learned how to make it.
They're good. If you've never had one, it's like a peanut butter ball, like dipped in chocolate, I think, and then like part of the peanut butter still showing. It beats a Reese's cup, if you ask me. If you're into peanut butter.
Looks just like a Buckeye that you might find on the ground.
But tastes better than something you'd find on the ground.
Yes, it does.
There are definitely some like really fun experiences I've gotten to have out here in Ohio with Nationals, being here for a few years.
Wait, how many times have you been here?
I honestly forget, but it's not the first or second time. Maybe third, maybe fourth. But as many years as it's been here, I've been out here. So, I've gotten to try out here. There's like Skyline Chili.
Skyline Chili's big in Cincinnati.
Unique Cincinnati experience.
Yes.
And Montgomery Inn. If anyone out here, is still out in Cincinnati looking for dinner recommendations tonight.
Tucking ribs there?
Oh, yeah. They've got ribs. They've got everything, I think. It's a great restaurant. Grater's ice cream. The cone. They're not even paying us to say that.
We had the Ryan's Pub. I believe that was last night. It was pretty good. Oh, I'm asking somebody who wasn't there. A lot of good stuff here in Ohio. The Reds just down the road. They've got a homestand going. Playing the Nationals.
We've had some cool food trucks out here. I really love when you travel for archery. You get to experience a lot of different states and different places, and try different foods and different experiences. And like I've been to Nationals in like Iowa and Oklahoma and Colorado and Florida, and like you really get to see a lot of the country. And that's been one of my favorite things, is sharing that with traveling with my dad and my sister and my brother or whatever, like coming to these competitions and like not just meeting the people here, but getting to see different parts of the country is another huge benefit to competing in archery. Or in any sport, but I love that archery really does let you get a lot around the country.
So we're ready for our third end.
I think I've been to like 38 states. It's a 9 for Taylor. And an 8 for Kylie. So Taylor takes another point to her lead so far.
And looks like another 9, perhaps.
I would agree with you on that, Ted. A 9 as well for Kylie, so tied score for that arrow. Three 9s for Taylor Fox, 27. And Kylie finishes out with another 8 for 25. So another 2 points onto that 4-point lead for Taylor. She will be ahead by 6 points, which, you know, it's not impossible to come back from that, but again, it's looking like she would have to kind of mess up a little bit for Kylie to be able to come back in and take the win.
Yeah, she'll need
Something
to
have to go wrong.
Open the door a little bit with some type of error.
Yeah, you know, it can happen sometimes. You know, one shot gets away from you, as we saw with Kylie. You know, she had that one arrow that was a 5, and that was really unfortunate. That's hard to come back from, but, you know, it can happen to anyone, and there's still 12 arrows to go. Nope, 6 arrows to go. That's my bad on math.
Well, 6 each.
Yeah, so 12 arrows to go total for the
I'll
match.
give you the benefit of the doubt here, Sarah. We'll make it work. That's creative math. As the athletes get up to collect their arrows, count their scores. There's an announcement going on to the parents and coaches. To check the USA Archery site tonight at 9 p.m. for any updates on scheduling, what may come about with this weather and the delays that we've had.
We are hoping you'll be able to join us for team competitions tomorrow, which is, I don't know, team competitions in archery are always very exciting. If it gets to happen, it's a good experience for the kids. It definitely forces you to meet other people out here, and a lot of people say team competitions are their favorite part of competing in archery.
It is a little different format, correct? You're shooting one arrow each time.
So no, they shoot 2 arrows each, and they're in a team of 3 people.
In a rotation, though, in their team, correct? Sometimes that way, okay.
Yeah, and it's also a little bit faster paced. Instead of having 40 seconds per arrow, it's 20 seconds, and there's just a lot of like team spirit and cheering each other on, and really working together, and that's a huge part of archery, of any sport, is having that teamwork and camaraderie, and it's cool that archery is both an individual and a team sport.
And in this primarily team sport, it does bring the teamwork out, the great aspects of teamwork. And like you said, you get to meet other people and make some new friends.
Another cool thing is, when you watch the Archery World Cups and World Championships and all that, and even the Olympics, like the U.S. historically does perform very well in team competitions, and I think a lot of that is because we do practice it and because there is so much excitement surrounding it that we do bring home a lot of medals in the team competitions, and that's awesome that they're starting it so young out here, getting ready for that.
And team competition also brings a different type of mentality to a sport. It's not just on me if I win or lose, but it could be on me if we all win or lose, and that can put a little different pressure on an individual.
And it also can take some pressure off,
Sure.
Because it's not just you. You're relying on 2 other people, and they're relying on you, and It's definitely very cool. I shoot, team competitions with my team at school, and like my two teammates are sisters, and that's always, super fun because, they're always there supporting each other. I sometimes get to feel like the third sister, and I like that. We have a very good dynamic.
Well, plus when you have a team competition, you might learn some different things that you may not learn just from your own coach or practicing as an individual.
Right, yeah.
Someone might say, hey, I tried this. This worked for me.
Yeah, so I shot at the 2012 Indoor World Championships for archery in Las Vegas, and I was shooting with two fantastic teammates from the U.S. who were here today, and one of them was like just teaching me stuff she says in her head, and some of it really stuck with me and made an impact for me, and now I say it in my head too. And actually was words of advice that came from Teresa Johnson, who's here today as well. She told me like stay in your circle, which is kind of like you think of like your shot process as like this whole circle, and you just keep your mindset in that. And I know that worked for me, and now my teammates will say that to me when I'm on the line, like just as a reminder, because you learn each other's shot process and mental process, and you can really be there for each other. Sometimes in a way that like a coach can't, because you're the same age, same level, and you're actually out there doing the same things.
So an announcement talking about active matches. So now we are ready to go for the fourth end.
And it's cool right now. You can see on the screen the all the archers are stepping up to the line, and that's what Ted and I were talking about before, being just such an impressive sight. Really cool. Taylor's ready to go. Open the match with a 9 just out of 10. Kylie also a 9 just out of 10. So strong scores being posted right now. Taylor does leave a slight gap there with an 8. Oh, but Kylie shot a 7. So that is an 8 for Kylie and a 10 for Taylor. So Taylor's increasing the gap here in scores. Going into the final set, she'll definitely not have to worry too much about how it's going to end out. She'll probably also just, be able to use this as practice going into the next match. Barring nothing out of the ordinary.
Barring a sudden wind gust or something out of the ordinary, because she does look like she's going to have it well in hand. She's up 6 going into this end.
What's interesting when you get to these head-to-head matches that wasn't there the whole competition before is when you're in practice in the qualifying rounds, if something goes wrong with your equipment, you can call an equipment failure, and a judge will come and you fix your equipment, and then they give you makeup shots. But when you're in elimination matches, you have to be ready to go at all times. There are no equipment failures, so if something goes wrong, you just have to deal with it on the spot, which is why you'll see a lot of archers will have backup of everything. Like they'll have a second bow, but when you're still young in this sport, you don't necessarily always travel with that with you, so you don't always have that available to you, so there could always be a surprise equipment failure, hoping there's not, of course, but it appears we have a birthday on the field. Anthony Rosati, happy birthday.
The odds would favor that we would have a birthday, considering we have 600.
Yeah, yesterday we had a birthday. We had 3 birthdays on the field yesterday. One Canadian archer, Joe Fanchin, who was our Olympic alternate for the men's recurve team. in 2012 celebrated his birthday yesterday as well. Happy birthday, Joe.
So we take a look as they gather up their arrows and tally them up.
And not to be left out, Nick Zumo. Happy birthday, turning 15 years old tomorrow. Happy birthday, Nick.
So Nick Zumo gets a shout out there.
Another birthday on the field. Yeah, I mean, you know, with 365 days in a year and 909 archers, odds are we're going to have birthdays out here every day, so that's pretty cool. But there's no birthday without cake, and I'm not seeing any cake yet, so
Well, maybe they'll get a...
I hope they go and get some ice cream after this. At least.
perhaps a waffle with chocolate cake and ice cream they might come up
Well, that
with.
sounds great, Ted. You're just making me hungry now.
I mean, yesterday the waffles that
We
we
are-
saw were, we had gyro waffles,
The tandoori chicken waffles. There have been some very cool trucks out on the
chocolate and
field this week.
strawberry waffles.
Absolutely.
I want to steal that one.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That looked good.
So we're getting close to our final end in this match.
Alexa likewise is sitting down next to her coach, also getting advice.
The current score 110-101. Taylor Fox in command.
Play a factor for either of these competitors will fit in. Fortunate for them, unless something picks up quickly, the wind doesn't seem to be too much of a factor this entire match.
So barring a tragedy for Taylor, she will move on to the 1/8 round. We will see what the schedule holds for us here. A tentative schedule has us with a Bowman quarterfinal for the boys in the compound.
Quarterfinal is exciting because, you know, oh, we have an archer who forgot to pull their arrows. That's known in archery as the walk of shame further down on the field. Not, you know, where we can see right now, but that will hold us up before starting the next set. Just a couple more seconds. That typically results in a slow clap, but it seems like we have a generous audience out here today.
Well, I think perhaps they've used up their slow claps.
It's all business back there. Still yet to see her practice live.
So while we have a 110-101 compound cumulative points total, over on the recurve, it's 4-4.
That is a close match, and, you know, there's
So it's win this final set or go to the...
one arrow shoot off, which is so if the two recurve archers that are shooting right now tie this set, they will force a one arrow shoot off, which is always super exciting because it's a real chance to like prove yourself with that one shot, because you have to be, you know, your best at all times, and when it comes down to one arrow, it's, you know, really who's on point.
So I believe we are seconds away from our fifth end.
I do believe it is just a matter of seconds now. And time for another scoring end here at Easton JOAD Nationals. Barring any one arrow shoot offs. Our last scoring end of the match.
Has been the pattern.
Whoa, almost a dead center axe for Taylor. Drilling it in there. Fantastic shot. An 8 for Miss Kylie.
Well, Taylor has been impressive. And
Sticking another one right in the 10 for 20 out of possible 20 points. A 7-6 liner for Kylie.
so that will,
Looks like a 6, but we'll wait for the official call. And she finishes with an X, a nice solid shot. In a 9 for Taylor.
so that will
So-
clinch it for Taylor Fox. She will move on to the 1/8 round. We're just kind of watching here on the recurve. Can this be a tie and maybe go to a shoot off?
I do not believe so, Ted. But you can switch on over to our recurve channel to find out if you're interested. Though I think we're more entertaining over here.
We're having fun.
Absolutely. Never a dull moment at Easton JOAD Nationals.
So she finished strong. Alexa can be proud of her performance.
So we're going to take a break.
Came down to that second arrow in the fifth end.
We know that that will end with a 139, I believe, for Taylor Fox.
Very impressive score. And you can hear all the cheering from our fans, spectators.
So we're going to take a short break. Congratulations to Taylor Fox. We'll try to see if we can get some comments from Taylor coming back. Stay with us here for the 2014 Easton Junior Olympic Archery Development Nationals by CoachesAid.com. Back to Joyce Park here in Hamilton, Ohio. Glad you've joined us for a big day in archery. We had, of course, the 2014 U.S. Open Archery Championships, and
Very
now we've started in on the 2014 Easton JOAD Nationals.
Yes, and there were some rain delays, some things out of our control, but it has been really exciting competition, really high-level performances, and definitely an inspiration to watch and follow along online. And thank you to USA Archery for having us out here for sure.
Yeah, we've definitely enjoyed bringing you the coverage. Again, some minor glitches basically because of things that are out of control. Weather. Can't stop the weather. And, of course, once that played into it, they had to move around the schedule. And with the juniors, then it was the moving of the targets, which took some time physically for all the volunteers. But again, we've talked about it. USA Archery, the volunteers, they've just been fantastic, and we've certainly appreciated all their help in bringing you this action.
Our judges and officials as well, and everyone who helped to make this really possible, and also, the archers for coming out here and being out here. And thank you all for watching us.
Sarah Bernstein, thank you very much. I'm Ted Rutan. Thanks for watching here on CoachesAid.com, the 2014 U.S. Open for Archery.